As head of the house, old Sir William soon insisted on broaching a symbolic bottle. To my granddaughter, to the baby, to her long and happy life. To Sir William, then in his 73rd year, it was happy and timely that fate should bring a change in the sequence of boys. In his own day, his own young family had run rather the other way, with 2 sons and 3 daughters. His eldest daughter, Winifred, had given him 4 granddaughters, but it was all the more pleasant to have a girl through the male line. Now, with the expectancy over, the tension broken, he could joke fondly and happily with his 2 boys, as he always called them, though both brothers had reached their early 40s, with Willie flushed and happy over his new parenthood, and with Edward still a bachelor. Their eldest sister, Winifred, Mrs. Colgate, later Lady Colgate, was also there, staying for a few days to help support her sister-in-law. Apart from the delighted father, she was perhaps the first to see mother and child, upstairs in the large bright bedroom overlooking the white lawns. With the rich brown bobbed hair of the mother and the pale-spun curly wisps of the sleeping baby, memories long remained of that happy maternal scene. Meanwhile, the indoor domestic staff had been invited to the dining room. Miss Robertson, with her wide Scottish smile, Lizzie Keeling, Caroline Hawkins, little Eva Flatters, the cook-housekeeper, the kitchen maid, the 2 housemaids, and the parlour-maid. They respectfully sipped to the baby. They found that the champagne tickled. They knew their place, and they departed, taking a bottle to offer the gardeners and grooms. A methodical and well-organised man, Captain Worsley telephoned the news to his brother-in-law, Sir Felix Brunner, in London, and then, I think, sat down to write to his absent sisters. Isabel and Victoria had both lived at home until a year or 2 earlier. Isabel, having vigorously expressed her personality as a first-class golfer, sometimes playing for Yorkshire, was 16 months his junior, and was to stage a surprise marriage later that year, within a month of her 41st birthday, while Victoria, an enthusiast of motor trials and Brooklands motor racing, had married 4 months previously, and had only recently returned from her honeymoon to settle in London. There was just time to enclose the news of the baby as a message, a timely surprise, on Vicky's birthday card, for she would be celebrating her own 33rd anniversary the very next day, February 23rd. Then, as the last of his paternal duties, Captain Worsley drafted an announcement for the Times in nearly the same formal and reticent phrases which he had always used for the birth of his sons. Hoping to catch the post, he was apparently still engaged in these pleasant chores when the parlour-maid came to the door, hesitatingly carrying a potted plant for Mrs. Worsley. "Sent him from the village, sir." This proved merely the prelude of the local expression of good wishes. The stream of gifts continued until evening, and for several days. Jars of calf's foot jelly, early flowering bulbs in their pots and dishes, daffodils showing signs of having been purchased in Malton Market, and knitted baby garments, delayed until they could be threaded with pink ribbon. With their bright messages, they came from the cottages at Brookside, from humble homes in the so-called High Street, from old Miss Corns at the almshouse, from Bingley Day, the land agent, and his wife, and from the lively Harrisons at Brinkburn Farm. Such was the regard and esteem in which the people of Hovingham held the daughter-in-law of their squire, and the pleasant flow was in full spate when Mr. Simpson, the postman, came beaming across the green, laden with the telegrams of congratulation that resulted from the announcement in the Times. On February 22nd, at Hovingham, Yorks, to Joyce, wife of Captain W.A. Worsley, a daughter. 2. Embowered in a valley of